Zidane Dayani, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we're talking about Promised Neverland. And yes, I have the Nindroid for Emma. But that's beside the point. Like I said, today we are going to be talking about Promised Neverland. And what is going to be happening in the upcoming season that will begin very shortly. For those of you who are unaware, Promised Neverland is one of the greatest anime and manga series that I have ever read and watched. Basically, the story is that Emma is a young girl who is basically living on a farm run by demons that want to eat her. And eventually she escapes. And in season 1, they do escape from Gracefield House, where they have been living for basically their entire lives. So that was in volume 5 of the manga, but the end of the anime. So today I thought I would look at the actual manga and kind of take a few guesses at what could happen in, well, the anime adaptation that's going to be starting soon. So first off, where are we going to be going from the end of this previous season? Well, first off, Volume 5 of the manga is, well, only about half of it, well, not even half of it, is the first. This is where the anime ends in the Volume 5, which, as you can see, is close to the beginning, and maybe about a third of the way through, meaning that most likely the first few episodes are actually going to be taking place within this first volume. And honestly, that's fine to me. Considering the fact that it took 5 volumes of the manga to get through the anime, I wouldn't be surprised if they only make it to volume 11 for this season. But there's actually a reason that I think that they will be getting to this point, and also that they will actually be expanding more, making the episodes a bit longer, making sure that they explain more, delve more in depth with what's going on in the story, rather than just telling the story as quickly as possible within the 13 episodes. But I also want to say that this season most likely will be probably double the length, considering the fact that this show is actually really freaking good. I wouldn't be surprised if they decide, you know what, let's increase the length, let's double the length, and they go from, and they basically just delve more into the story. They expand more on this stuff. But that mostly makes sense because a lot of this season isn't necessarily the these kids' smart minds thinking through a lot of this stuff and planning like it was in the first few volumes of the manga and the first season. The first season was a lot of thinking and planning, but these volumes are a lot more of them thinking on their feet, moving quickly because they have to do these things and they don't have all of the information, so they need to develop it quickly. And that is going to be a lot of what's going to be happening. They're going to be able to go more in depth with this stuff, but it's also going to mean that they can expand and make the episodes longer without necessarily hindering the story. And honestly, I think that's great, considering how things are going right now in the manga. Now, how far is this going to be going? Well, honestly, I believe that they are going to end this season with Volume 11, mostly due to the fact that Volume 11, well, it's where they defeat a new villain, a villain that they've actually been dealing with since, I believe, Volume 8 is where they began dealing with this villain. So, if they decide that they want to spend a good amount of time dealing with this villain, then I say go for it. Get quickly through the first part and where they're doing a lot of traveling. Get that done quickly so that we can actually delve into this new villain and Emma's interactions with the new characters. Obviously, there is going to be a lot more interaction between Emma and her family with these new characters that I'm not going to go too far in depth with, but there are a lot of new characters that are really, really important. But by ending the season at volume 11 means that they can actually put a good stopping point by defeating a villain, but also building up for the new season. There is some good stuff that they have near the end of this volume that, while it's not super setting up the new season, it does start to. These characters know that there are more villains that they have to deal with, meaning that this show and this manga series will continue to grow over the next few months, weeks, and years. So I think that this is going to be a good stopping point for this season. So obviously, they're going to defeat this villain. Then what? Are they going to... how much of Volume 11 are they going to do? Honestly, I'm not sure. And honestly, while I would like to see that they go a little bit more in depth, because a lot of... if you guys haven't read a lot of manga and anime adaptations, and watched anime adaptations, then you may not realize this, but a lot of manga and anime adaptations will actually stop in the middle of a manga, as basically this, while there's a good stopping point for the anime in the middle of a manga, it actually does the manga a bit better by having a bit more information in these. Such as, for example, My Hero Academia. This previous season, before the current one, so season 3, did actually stop about halfway through. I'm not really certain which volume, but it stopped there because of the fact that they knew that there was a big issue that was coming up, dealing with the whole new enemy. And while it would be cool to have them delve a little bit deeper to actually give a little bit of information towards what's going to be happening soon, while Volume 11 doesn't actually delve too much into the future, honestly, I think that would be a perfect stopping point. Another important thing to actually understand, though, is that for anime adaptations, they also like to end the series at about the point where the manga ended, where the manga finished around the same time. So if that were the case, then they would actually go to volume 13, which is going to be releasing within the next few days, as of recording this video and it coming out. So if they were to go to that point, then that would actually be something to be kind of interested in. Obviously, certain shows don't do this, such as My Hero Academia. What it's looking like for this season is that it's actually going to go beyond where the manga ended this year. So, well, last year, right before the season started. So, I don't know. It's really hard to say But for right now, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be going from volume 5 in the manga to volume 11 in the manga to finish this season of anime for Promised Neverland. And honestly, I'm fine with that, and I think that a lot of other people will be fine with that because it's a good portion of the story, and it develops our characters quite a lot. There's there's not too much with Emma and Ray and the other kids, but it does develop a lot more of the other characters that are being introduced this season, specifically the kids at Goldie Pond, which I'm not going to spoil too much about that, but that is going to be the main point of this season, rather than the other characters that we're going to be introduced to. But you'll just have to wait and see what happens when the new season starts. But anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments below if there's any series that you want me to talk about here on the channel. And if you have any theories about any show, then definitely leave them down there and use the hashtag theory review. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on.